My name is Annie Grossman, and I'm a dog trainer. I'm the owner and co-founder of School for the Dogs, a dog training center located in Manhattan's East Village.
School for the dogs, for the dogs. School for the dogs, for the dogs.
On this podcast, I talk about dog training, interview industry experts, discuss pet trends, answer questions, and try to communicate my love for all things related to behavioral science. Thanks a lot for listening. I think this podcast will help make you the best possible human best friend any dog could ask for. What you are about to hear is a conversation I had about a month ago with a friend of mine from high school. She lives in the Midwest in the suburbs of a big city. She has 4 little kids, and she text messaged me that they just got this puppy and things were not going well. Her husband wanted to get rid of the puppy, and she texted me saying that she had just gotten a puppy, but things were not going so well, and her husband really wanted to get rid of the puppy, and she was feeling rather desperate. So I said, give me a call. Let's talk this through. Maybe I can give you some ideas. But hey, would you mind if I recorded our conversation? And perhaps I can share it on the podcast. As regular listeners know, I got a lot going on these days. In addition to running School for the Dogs, I have these 2 tiny kids, and so I'm looking for any opportunity I can find to multitask. So she called while I was doing Play-Doh with my older daughter, and enjoy this little. So you get a little snapshot into my life, kids in the background, while I spoke to her and tried to talk her through some of her puppy problems. I'm going to make spaghetti.
No, dog. No, make dog.
You want me to make a duck?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean favorite.
Rubber ducky is your favorite?
Yes. Rubber ducky, favorite.
What else is your favorite?
I make a rubber ducky,
Rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you.
You.
Boop-boop-be-doo. Hello?
Hi, I'm literally in my pajamas.
I'm playing, I'm in the middle of playing Play-Doh, so we're both,
Oh my gosh.
Are you having a puppy crisis?
I feel like it's a life crisis.
Well, I'm glad it's a life crisis. That means that we get to chat. Do you mind if I record for the podcast?
Oh, you really want to record that? Okay, sure.
Yeah. Tell me what's going on.
So he is 4 months old.
How long have you had him?
We have had him since he was about 8 weeks on June 3rd.
Okay.
And yeah, so everything's going really well, except this whole like resource guarding thing. So regardless of whether it's me or one of the kids or my husband, like if he goes upstairs and snatches a sock or grabs like a piece of paper towel from the floor, or he gets something really special, like a big like toy to chew on, like a really special bone toy, then if you come up to him and say, like, drop it, here's a treat, drop it, he'll growl and sometimes snap at you.
Right. Well, first of all, a separate issue, but tangentially related. I definitely would suggest that you try and figure out a way to get him some really good playtime with other puppies every day. What's his name again?
Okay. Cody with a K.
Because puppies really need to play with other puppies, and I'm guessing that some of his like, hey, no, it's mine energy might be actually like appropriate play if it were with another puppy, but it's inappropriate obviously when it's with you guys. But more than that, puppies tend to learn good manners from each other on like how to play with one another, and there's sort of like a short window where they're going to be able to learn how to interact with other dogs in an appropriate way and not be scared of other dogs, especially like, you know, I know you're in a kind of like suburban situation where you might not be seeing a whole lot of other dogs a lot of the time. Even on leash, you probably, I'm guessing, like can go a couple days probably without necessarily seeing other dogs on leash. So you want to make sure he's getting that good interaction time, play time, and that he's not looking to the kids for all of his social engagement. So I would suggest you know, like looking on Facebook for like local groups, see if other people have puppies, see if anyone in your neighborhood has a puppy, see if there's any trainers that host puppy play groups, or if your vet knows anybody. But ideally, I mean, even if he could just get like 15 minutes a day of playtime with one other dog, and I would say one other dog is ideal. It doesn't need to be at a dog run. It could just be in your kitchen. You just want to make sure he's getting that in his life. And on leash is also not ideal because they're you know, like literally restrained. And also, are you using a crate with him at all?
We are. Yeah.
How does he do in his crate?
He does really well. Like he'll at random times, like if we want to go to the pool, he'll go in the crate for 2 or 3 hours, and he seems to be asleep. Like when we get back, he goes in.
Oh, that's awesome.
And likes it, and then he sleeps there at night. So
that's another thing is, you know, you could try and make sure if you are giving him a special bone, give it to him in his crate or even his food. But the main thing I would suggest is rather than doing trades with him for objects that he's really into, I think that's kind of like a trade is like, I don't know, high school level material, and he's still in kindergarten. You want to just like toss delicious things at him while he has something that he values. So that means like he's chewing, and I would start with something relatively low value that he has and give him something relatively high value. So if he has, let's say, I don't know, I mean, let's say like, do you use bully sticks with him or anything like that?
We have some peanut butter like long sticks that are like sort of like hard, and
like
those are pretty special.
Like what? Okay, so like what's like his? So figure out like what his number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thing is, and like start with number 5, like whatever is like the least interesting of the interesting things, and let him have the thing, and then while he's enjoying it, I would just say drop it and toss him like a tiny bit of steak or something like really delicious, and try and do that like, I don't know, maybe 20 times a day. So like, you know, in the morning, cut up 20 pieces of something, And throughout the day, just say, drop it and
Okay.
throw him a thing. And it's not, drop it, Cody, drop it, drop it, drop it. Because you're not even asking anything from him at this point. You're just like pairing the word with, I say drop
Okay.
it, and then I throw this yummy thing at you. What's going to happen is he's going to learn, like, oh, every time they say drop it, they throw this yummy thing at me. So I better have my mouth like wide open and ready to receive the yummy thing.
Okay.
But I would say do that for like a few weeks before you get to the point of making it conditional in any way. At this point, it's just
Okay.
about like pairing it. Likewise, like when he's eating it, have the kids go
Okay.
just like toss something in his bowl from a foot away,
Okay.
while he's eating, again, just to get him accustomed to this idea of like, the kids around me while I'm eating is no big deal. They don't take something from me. They actually give me something. Because at this
Okay.
point, it's all about like, what are the associations he's making, and less about like, is he learning that, if this happens, then this happens. Because
Okay.
I'm guessing what's happening is like, he's chewing his sock. You're like, hey, drop it, here's a treat. And he's like, screw you, I got a sock. Like the chewing with the sock is so much more interesting than whatever it is you have to offer me. So you want to like, put a lot of sort of money in the bank account of, I'm not ever even asking you anything. I'm just giving. Because when he has that, like when he has like a bank account that's like, has $100,000 in it, like he's not going to care that you're making a little withdrawal, if that makes sense.
That is helpful.
So, but again, the key is, I think, to not rush it and just do a whole lot of repetitions. And of course, making sure that like he doesn't have access to the things that like he really shouldn't have, which is like human training, like kids, pick up your socks.
Yeah. And what do you think about, like, right now we have like some baby gates that are not secure, sort of like blocking off two different staircases.
Mm-hmm.
And I ordered this collar with these discs, like, like, I don't know, from chewy.com, to keep him out of our upstairs.
What do the discs do?
It's like an e-collar.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't suggest that. I mean, the problem with e-collars is you don't know what association he's making. So, you have the kid running down the stairs, and he's trying to run up the stairs, and all of a sudden he gets shocked. You don't know necessarily that he's like, oh, the problem is I was going past this boundary going up the stairs. You face the problem of like, him possibly making the connection of, I saw Finn and I got a shock. Finn must be scary and dangerous. Or, or I heard I don't know. I heard that woodpecker outside just as I got shocked. I gotta tell that woodpecker what's what. So, that's the main reason why I would avoid anything like that. I would do whatever you can to manage his space as carefully as possible. So, whether that's gates or, a pen, or, if he can be in his crate for 2 to 3 hours at a time, that's not like, I don't think for a puppy that's an inhumane amount of time. So I think that's fine if you left him in the crate some of the time when you're around. It doesn't, and actually even better if you're leaving him in the crate sometimes when you're around, so that he doesn't start to think, every time I'm in the crate, it means I'm going to be left alone. So, and that too, you can have him in the crate, and have the kids just get in the habit of like dropping good things in the crate while he's in the crate, so he starts to feel good about being in the crate. I also like having a crate, or even multiple crates, in the house, but having crates in areas where people are, so that he can get used to kind of like having you coming and going and being involved in what's going. Sorry, there's babies crying.
Yeah.
And I'm making some killer Play-Doh also while we're talking.
Wow.
Also, so that he can, get used to being around you guys, but having his own space, having a controlled space, which, is a favorite to him too, because, you know, you have 4 kids. Sometimes he's not going to
Yeah.
want to interact with the kids, and he's going to want to have his safe place, but he also still might want to be involved with what everyone else is doing. So, and you know, your house is pretty big, so you might want to get a couple crates, which you're not going to necessarily have to have forever. These are not like permanent piece of furniture, and you know, like you can get crates for like $20 online. So I mean, I would maybe get a couple so that wherever you guys are hanging out, he has his comfy, cozy spot. Are you using any kind of food toys with him?
Food toys, like things to like engage him and keep him
Yeah. Like, what is he eating and how is he eating?
Well, he's eating 3 meals a day from like a dog dish, which, and I also started like feeding him out of my hand because someone told me that was a good idea for dealing with.
Yeah, I don't think that matters too much. I would get some toys for him that he could really use his mouth on. I mean, in the bigger picture, that's going to help with stuff like stealing the socks. Like he's looking, my guess is like he's looking for things to do, things to pull apart with his mouth, problems to solve, You know, he's like a working dog, right?
No, he's a hunting dog.
Yeah. So he's doing all the stuff he's supposed to be doing. You just need to like focus that energy into appropriate ways. So I'm a huge fan of work to eat toys. I can send you some specific links. Hold on. Oh, good job. I love it. What are you feeding him for food? Dry food, wet food, canned food?
Just dry food.
Yeah. So there are, I mean, tons of toys that you can get for dry food. Some are like, we call them slow food bowls. They're bowls that like have mazes in them.
The maze.
Or they're ones that I call kibble balls that they kind of can knock around. They're often like weighted at the bottom, and they can knock them around. There are ones that are like puzzles that have drawers that can open up and be pulled open. If you go to storeforthedogs.com, you'll see they have tons of different ones. And then there are a million kinds of things you could make yourself. There's a Facebook group, I think, called like Canine Enrichment. I mean, an easy, like the easiest one that you could make tonight is get like an ice cube tray and just like dribble the food into the ice cube tray so that he has to get the stuff out of the where the ice cubes would go, or you can put it upside down, or like a muffin tin. But the idea is to focus his energy into problem solving, into getting the stuff out of a toy. You could even, if that's too easy for him, with like the ice cube tray, for example, you could put the dry food in the ice cube tray and then put some water or like chicken stock or bone broth and freeze it, and then give that to him. And I would give it to him in his crate. Again, like you want to do everything you can to control his physical space, because I mean, it's a relatively easy thing to control, and it's gonna, you know, keep him away from you know, the socks and the kids' toys and all the stuff you don't, you know, the couch, like all the problem areas. If you can control his space, you're going to have more control over that stuff. And if you can control his energy by like his actual not energy like chi, but like his energy, like the energy he has to expend on playing and problem solving, by making sure he gets some good playtime with other thank you by making sure he gets some playtime with other dogs that's appropriate, and making sure that he's getting to let some of his energy out by, you know, actually eating it up, like eating his food, you know, because like if it takes some, like right now, I don't know, I'm guessing it probably takes him 2 minutes to eat his food. You can stretch that out to 20 minutes. And then that's like all the more calories he's expending in eating it, rather than trying to, you know, like chase after the kids or whatever. So,
well, what about just like pure exercise? Like,
I think that's a great idea too. I love flirt poles. Do you know what a flirt pole is?
No.
That too, we carry them. I can send you a link.
Okay.
They're basically like really big cat toys. Um, you mean you could even make your own out of like a piece of PVC pipe and a rope and put a toy at the end, kind of like a big fishing rod. But that's a nice way, actually, both to practice drop it and to sort of play with them indoors. But of course, you have outdoor space. It's fenced in, right? At least part of your
Right.
space.
Yeah.
So
Yes, it is.
yeah, I mean, like playing ball is also a really good way to play drop it, to practice drop it, because you can throw the ball, he's going to bring it back. You can say drop it, throw that little bit of stake or whatever, get the ball, throw the ball again. Like that's a really nice way to get in lots of repetitions. Or the reward could even be, drop this ball and then I'm going to throw this bully stick for you, or drop this ball and I'll throw this treat for you. But I think exercise at this point is a good idea too. The only thing I would caution against, like long runs, I would talk to your vet. I don't know that much about the breed. I would talk to your vet to make sure that he is okayed for long runs, just because his joints are probably still developing. But I'm all for playing tug, and like I said, I think tug can be a really good way to help teach them that drop it, which it sounds like it would be a good idea for you guys to.
Oh wow!
Work
Thank you
on.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I were there. I wish I could meet him. Is he snuggly and adorable, or is he just a nightmare all the time?
He is so snuggling in the morning, right when he wakes up. Well, he's very snuggly. He snuggles a lot. And he's so great. But this is the only thing that I'm really confused about.
Well, check out that podcast episode I sent you on Drop It and Come and the blog post, and I always send you some links. I think food toys, I would feed him every meal in some kind of food toy. I think it's just it's like a really easy way to get some more mileage out of his meals. And definitely see if you can get him some play dates, ideally one-on-one, or unless it's like a play group, like a trainer that's running a play group. But even then, I would say maybe like 4 or 5 puppies maximum. I think otherwise it can get really overwhelming. But half an hour, 20 minutes, even 15 minutes of play with another puppy, I think is gonna change who he is as a dog. And you're gonna be like, this is such a better puppy to deal with. And so many people are getting puppies right now. It might be easier than you think to find other puppy owners. Or even older dogs or young dogs who like puppies. Not all older dogs are or younger, like teenagers dogs likes puppies, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a dog his age, as long as it's a dog that someone is sure is like really good with pups.
Okay.
But I bet if you look into it, I know kind of like, I remember like where you live, I bet there are a lot of people with young dogs right now. So
I bet there are too. I have one that we play with, but it's a Great Dane. He doesn't move much. It's so good.
And then the other thing is go to clickertraining.com. That's in and I can't do that right now, sweetie. I'll get off in a second, baby. You can see if there are any good trainers near you. I think there probably are. But that's a good place to look for trainers. I think you can sort there by zip code. So
thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm so happy to talk to you. We have to talk more.
Me too.
I gotta go wrap up my Play-Doh time here.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.
Mama.
School for the dogs.
Thank you so much for listening, and special thanks to Bill and Lizzie of Toast Garden for the amazing theme song. You can find Toast Garden at youtube.com/toastgarden. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review on iTunes. You can also support us by shopping at storeforthedogs.com, and you can learn more about us at schoolforthedogs.com. You can also connect with other listeners by downloading our brand new app. Just visit schoolforthedogs.com/community. Hi, I wanted to let you know that I have a brand new, totally free masterclass available, and I'd love if you wanted to check it out. It's about an hour long, and it goes over 3 simple things that every dog owner needs to know in order to teach a dog quickly and easily without pain, force, a major time investment, or fancy equipment. When you register, you'll also get a free 20-page ebook all about what I call the dog training triad. You can find it at anniegrossman.com/masterclass.